a bailiff for being threatening. He's threatening to break into some house and going on holiday today.
Right.
For a fine that I've already paid for as well, 11 weeks early.
Where's the bailiff now?
Well, he was supposed to come at 7 o'clock this morning. We've been waiting for him and he's not come. Then he said he'll come at 11.
Right.
I says, well, I'm not going to be available. Okay. He says, well, we'll deal with it with you not being present.
Have you ever let him in the house before?
No, he's never been in.
Well, in that case, he's not breaking into your house, he's bluffing you. He can't. It'd be burglary, like a burglar coming along in the night.
He won't be getting in my house neither. The fine's been paid though.
If you listen to the story though, this is absolutely madness.
My son got fined.
I'm sure the story is, and I don't want to be rude or anything, but the only aspect of it that's going to concern us is whether somebody breaks the criminal law. Who you think you owe money to, or who thinks you owe money to, I'm sure it's a big deal for you, but it's not a nice way to say this, but it's irrelevant to us. What would be relevant is if someone comes smashing their way into your house.
It's made threats.
It's made threats.
They all say things like that.
But are they allowed to say things like that? To intimidate people?
Isn't that demanding money with menaces?
I wouldn't say so, no. They go right up.
So if I come to your house and say I'm going to smash your door in unless you pay up,
what
would you do?
You're not a bailiff.
What if I was? What would you do?
I wouldn't call the police.
What would you do then?
I'd say, you can't come in here. If you do come in here, I'll call the police. Yeah?
So you've got to wait for the crime to happen?
Yeah, it's not a crime. You're never going to be able to arrest someone and put that before a jury. In a billion years, no one's ever going to get convicted of that. Right. They're just going to say, well, we were telling them what we can and can't do, because there is a point with bailiffs. So once you've let them in, which is why I asked you that question.
Let them in, no.
I know, but this is very relevant to what I'm about to say. If you have ever let them in, they have got the right to kick your door in.
I've not.
So you see, that's the grey area. It could never result in a conviction. If which company is it? That's not one. Marston's. They're a long-established company, and they will not be kicking your door in. Just not in a million years. Who do you owe the money to?
She doesn't.
My son got a fine in April.
Yeah.
He was 15 at the time, so I've had to pay the fine.
Yeah.
The fine was paid off.
Because she paid it off early. They've sent it to the bailiff because she paid it early.
Doesn't make any sense, does it?
Well, no, that's all the payments.
So have you been on to them? I'm guessing you have. So
yeah, but I've just spoke to fines and they keep saying you have to deal with bailiffs, and I'm like, well, what?
That doesn't make sense, does it?
No, well, that's what happened.
But that's a civil dispute between you, the people you owe the money to, and these people. But they will, if these people come charging into your house and boot your door in, that's a crime. That will then involve the police.
I'm going on holiday now for the weekend to Spain.
Granted.
So I'm not going to be at home.
That's their lookout, isn't it? But they're not going to come kicking your door. Is anybody going to be in the house while you're
My friend's staying there with me, 3 of my children.
And this friend needs to know not to let anybody in, because once your friend lets somebody in, they've got the right to take whatever they like then, to and including the value of £310. And bear in mind, it's their opinion what's worth £310. Yeah? So they must not be allowed in. Once they've been allowed in once, and they only take 200 quid's worth because they think you're going to pay or whatever, and you don't pay, that's when they can come back in, and that's when they can boot your door in.
What about clamping your car outside on a public highway?
Clamping your car? Well, it's not the car's not the issue here, is it?
No, but what they normally do is they'll go for the easy target, which is sat in your drive normally.
But how much is your car worth?
It's an all-7 reg Toyota car, so it's
worth a lot more than that.
Like 4 or 5 grand's worth.
That to me would be completely unreasonable, because where's your change?
Number 6.
You know, they're supposed to distrain, to use the technical term, on goods worth. So they'd take your telly and your table, for example, and say, well, that's worth,
Number 7.
Table, but you know what I mean? Washing machine, whatever it might be, something that's worth that.
Can I go down the vulnerable acts, because I've got 2 children with disability?
What do you mean, the vulnerable acts?
The vulnerable acts, what's stated on Ministry of Justice.
I've never heard of the vulnerable act.
People in vulnerable situations. There's no definition in law of vulnerable situations, but there is.
If there's a criminal...
Under autism, she is as well.
Yeah, but such things would only be dealt with, people's vulnerability, if there was a criminal act going on. Now, there is no criminal act. Marston's have every right to demand money, wrongly or not. They've every right to demand money. They've not broken the criminal law by writing to you. It all needs sorting out with whoever you've made the payment to. Did you get a receipt, etc.?
Bank statements, all payments are there to HM courts.
Yes, they've sent it to Marston's because she paid it early. That's ludicrous.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me, but then I don't work for a bailiff.
I had till 3rd September to pay it. It got paid off on 19th of June.
The question is, are these people going to come crashing into your house? If they do, and they've not been invited, they will be breaking the criminal law, as they full well know.
Do you know the removal of implied rights of access as well?
The what?
The removal of implied rights of access.
I don't know the removal of implied rights.
Well, it's common law. It's removing anybody's implied right of access to come on the property.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll be committing trespass if they do come on the property.
The trespass again is not criminal law; it's a civil law.
That's right.
Which is not our sphere
No,
of
but you
expertise.
can take a civil private prosecution out
You
against
can,
that said
yeah.
person
Yeah, you can, but
or company.
But if you're in attendance and this bailiff's causing an issue, you can remove him off the property because he's not been invited.
Violence.
He's not been invited, has he?
Well, he's got no bailiff. I've never heard of a bailiff being
Well,
invited.
9 times out of 10, the bailiff rings you and says, there's a breach of the peace here, bang, use a PL like that. If we ring up, you turn round and you say, oh, it's a civil matter, this, deal
We've
with it
said that to
yourselves.
the bailiffs as well many times.
Oh, we've been twice now and the police have turned up blue lights and everything, sirens going a lot.
Yeah. Well, if,
We've rang them and they've got it civil matter.
if someone says there is violence going on here, someone's hitting someone, whatever it might be, you get a blue light run wherever that call comes from. Yeah. 9 out of 10, we'd say, well, it's a civil dispute. You've got to sort it out with them. And bailiffs, because they're professionals, well, they are. They get paid for doing it. They're professionals, aren't they? That's their job. Therefore, most of them, 99.9% of bailiff dealings never come to the police's attention because it's all sorted out. Not amicably,
Because
but
they use fear.
maybe. But there's no law saying they can't. Are you filming me?
Yep.
Okay. Why?
So we can show it to the bailiff what you said.
Well, at the moment it's not very good, is it? I don't want you to film me.
You're allowed to, it's a public.
It's also a private place, isn't it?
No, it's public.
No, out there is public. This is a private place. I can't stop you doing it, but I'm not happy with you doing it. And I don't see why I should carry on with the conversation while you're doing it.
Well, it is a public building.
Yeah, no.
Paid for by the taxpayer.
Yeah, but I've got the right to ask you not to do it. Same as you would if I was doing it to you.
Well, we get filmed every time we step out the door.
CCTV.
Fine,
Oh, yeah, we all do that, don't we? But you don't get
It's
all
just
the
the same,
conversation.
isn't it?
I'm
No, it's
trying to
not the same.
prevent putting my daughter
At risk.
at risk. She will get anxious if anyone threatening comes towards the door or anything. She's going to be in that house this week.
I don't dispute it, but it's still a civil dispute, isn't it, between you and them? At the moment, no criminal law has been breached.
Have you got mine?
I have.
So if he attempts
Should-
to force entry to the property, ring the
us,
police,
no.
and you will remove him off the property
And we will attend.
and remove him.
We will attend.
So you're not going to remove him?
I didn't say that. I do not know. It depends on the circumstances when we get there.
Obviously, if he forces entry, then he can be arrested for.
Yeah, because it's burglary. It's breaking and entering, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they know that. And they won't do it. But your important thing, like I said to you before, once they've been allowed in once,
They've never been in.
I know, but I want to reiterate it because it's important. They can do what they like to get in again.
I know it's called something like invited access.
Civil law, don't know.
Mm.
Not been in that situation, so I don't know. But it's, at the moment, no criminal law's been breached, so we're not getting involved. Should they turn up, if there's any violence, bring us.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, cheers for your help.
Alright, cheers.
Thank you.
Hope you got the good side.